Ancient Rome, quick lesson number one. The founding of Rome. We know that Rome was founded in the year 753 BCE, which is 753 years before Christ was born. And we know that it was established by two brothers named Romulus and Remus. Now, according to legend, these two boys lost their parents and they were raised by a mother wolf. Apparently, she was nursing her own cubs and she found these two boys who had been abandoned and she raised them as her own cubs. They grew up along the Tiber River, and according to legend, when they became adults, they got into a fight, and Romulus ended up killing his brother Remus, and he named the city after himself Rome, which we believe is short for Romulus. Now, like all legends, I'm sure there are parts of that story that are true, like the fact that there were two brothers, and but I'm sure the part about being raised by the wolf was is a made up part of the legend. There is a famous statue in Rome which shows the mother wolf nursing the two boys. The geography of Italy is very similar to the geography of Greece in many ways. They both have very hot summers, mild winters. They have the Mediterranean climate, which makes it very comfortable for people to live there. Italy has two major mountain ranges. On the left, you have the Alps, which they go across the top of Italy, and they were a natural barrier to keep people out of Italy. So it was a great form of protection. The Apennine Mountains run down the center of Italy, which you can see on the right hand side. The Romans did believe in polytheism or multiple gods and goddesses. In fact, they learned about the Greek gods and goddesses through trade, and eventually they started believing in the same gods. And the only difference is that they renamed them, they gave them new names. The only planet that we did not name after the Roman gods is Earth. Earth is not a Roman name, but the rest of them are. Latin is the language that the Romans spoke, and it was the language that they wrote in. And just like the Greek language, we have a lot of words that we use every day that come from Latin. So, one example is the Latin word lev, which means to lift. And that's where we get words like elevates, elevator, levitates, and lever. Roman numerals, these were the number systems that the Romans used on a daily basis. So the first Roman numeral is I, which is 1. Then there is V, which is 5. X is 10. L is 50. C is 100. D is 500. And M is 1000. So when using Roman numerals, there are a couple rules. First, you cannot have more than 3 of the same letter in a row. So if you look at 4, for example, IV. By placing the I in front of the V, you're turning it into a subtraction problem. You're taking 1 away from 5, which equals 4. So you cannot have 4 I's in a row to make 4. Likewise, the number 6, by placing the I after the V, is turning it into an addition problem. It's basically saying 5 plus 1 equals 6. Rule number 2, you have to figure out one number at a time, starting with the first one. So let's say, for example, you are trying to figure out the Roman numerals for the number 48. You have to start with the first number, the 4, the 40. Okay, 48. So to get 40, you cannot have 4 X's in a row to make 40 because of rule number 1. So to get 40, you have to basically take away 10 from 50. So you put an X in front of an L, which is basically saying 10 take away from 50. And so you have 40. And now you have to get 8. And by doing that, you simply put a V, which is 5, and 3 I's after that to get the 8. So XLVIII is the answer for 48. Now, we certainly don't use Roman numerals like they did every day, and we don't use them in math class or math problems like they did, but we still use them today. And here are some examples. Super Bowls, we always use Roman numerals to identify which Super Bowl is coming up. We sometimes see them in chapter titles. Famous people, especially kings and queens, they often have Roman numerals after their names. So Queen Elizabeth II currently is the Queen of England. We see them on clocks, and we even see them in movie titles. So we talk about legacies often in this class. So this is one of the legacies that the Romans left behind. They left behind the Roman numerals, which we still use today.